So, welcome back to Conscious Reality, where we speak on love, relationships, and spirituality. Today, we're going to speak on a little bit of relationship problems, where we're going to make some things, some common sense come to common to many of us, okay? We're going to make some common sense come commonly to us. We're going to speak on signs that a man is trying to break up with you, okay? Many of us don't know these signs because many of you are not a man. So you have no idea. I think many of times women expect men to do what they will do. You, and this is why it's so hard to understand men because you think that a man is going to do what you're going to do. And that's not the case. We are different. We feel different. We think differently. We act differently. We do different things. We want differently. And I think a lot of women struggle with this idea because you think a man is supposed to be like you, feel like you, think like you, experience life like you. And that is not how it goes. So I'm here to decipher what a man is to you guys. All right. Now, this is not all I speak on my shows, but today I'm going to speak on this. Listen, before I speak on this, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this beautiful old channel so that you can see these more of these beautiful information, informative posts. All right. Make sure you comment and you like. All right. Listen. So we're gonna talk about 7 to 8 signs that a man shows when he no longer wants to be with you, but he doesn't really say it with his mouth. This is what he does instead. Number one, I'm gonna right into it. Number one, he creates distance between you and him. He just becomes distant. You don't know what he's thinking anymore. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know his life. He becomes like a stranger. You have no idea what's going on. He become unknown to you. And you don't know what's going on. He feels differently. He looks differently. He don't really speak to you anymore the same. His body language to you has changed. He has distanced himself. You don't no longer feel connected to this man. And many times, it's not that he's doing it on purpose, but sometimes it happens naturally. Energy doesn't lie. Now I know his energy is telling you how he feels about you or what he wants to do. Believe the energy. All right. Number two, he becomes very sloppy. Very sloppy. He doesn't care if he gets caught cheating. He doesn't care if you find out. He keeps getting caught, by the way. And sometimes maybe he wants to get caught. Because sometimes, whether you think this is right or wrong, good or bad, maybe sometimes he don't want to hurt your feelings by saying he no longer want to be with you because of all the things that you have done for him and all the things that you have been through with him. And he feels bad telling you he doesn't want you anymore. Seriously. So many times he gets sloppy. He wants you to do it. He wants you to break up with him. He wants you to say, listen, I can't do it no more. I'm done. And he feels better that way because at least he knows he's not the one who hurt your feelings. You are the one who walked away. So he becomes sloppy. He wants to get caught. Anytime you see a man get sloppy, they're not trying to hide it from you anymore. That means they don't have the same respect for you anymore. That means they want to be caught. Hey, look at what I'm doing. Don't you see it? Number three, he pushes you to the limits. He pushes you to the limits. He's very hard on you. He disrespects you completely. He's annoyed with the simplest things. He just pushes you extra. You find yourself being intimidated, walking on eggshells, being annoyed continuously. And again, like I said in the last point, is because a lot of times he wants you to end it so that he doesn't have to. Now, listen, everybody can't end the relationship. Some men can't, some women can't. They wait for the other person to do it so that they can feel better, so their ego can feel better. At least they're not the one who destroyed you. Even though they are destroying you with their behaviors and their actions, but they're not destroying you because technically they didn't end it. So he pushes you to your limits. He's very harsh, very rude, very disrespectful, very just diabolical. When you see that, a lot of times they don't care. They don't care anymore. They're giving up. You annoy them too. They annoy you. Understand this. When you see this change happen within the man, he's done. Number four, he will not continue to do activities with you. You realize that going to the store with you have stopped. Going to the movies have stopped. Going out have stopped. Going to dinner has stopped. He no longer does activities with you because that's too personal. It becomes too intimate, and he doesn't want that intimate settings anymore. Because when he is with you, he's annoyed. When he is with you, he feels uncomfortable. So he kills all activities. That's a sign he no longer wants to be with you. And you have to accept it. See, a man who wants to be with you want to be around you. No, he don't want to go, to the store and to Walmart with you. But he likes actually being around you. He likes being in your company. That's a sign that somebody really wants you. Somebody who wants to be in your company. Somebody who wants to be in the same bed. Somebody who wants to be in the same house. Somebody who honors your presence. See, somebody who's like that wants to be around you. Somebody who don't even want to be in the same city as you, always leaving. Listen, sometimes another sign is you notice that someone creates fights with you just so that they can leave. Every little thing he's gone. He's ready to break it. He's ready to break up or end it. He's ready to say, I'm done. He's ready to just walk away. Every little thing. That's a sign that somebody don't want to be with you, but sometimes they come back because you guilt trip them. Sometimes, yeah, you keep them guilt. Sometimes oh, I can't believe you left me. Oh my God, I didn't do anything wrong. And a lot of times they feel guilty and they come back. The conscience, because again, sometimes that you have done so much for them and they feel guilty. Sometimes they don't want to leave you like that. But sometimes a man who's always ready to go and come, is always ready to go, ready to leave at every fight, every argument, every disagreement. That man don't want to be with you. I promise you. Because a man who want to be with you, man, you can't stop him. You can't get rid of him even if you try. So you got to see the difference. The next one you realize, this is very obvious. That person doesn't call or text. He doesn't call or text you anymore. Sometimes you call and he takes forever to call you back. He don't return your text, and his text is very short. Calls are very short towards you. Sometimes you don't know where he's at. You try to call to figure, and every time you call him, you're so insecure. Why you always calling me? Why you always calling my phone? A lot of times, that's a person who don't want to be with you. That person lost respect for you a long time ago. And I don't understand how come you can't see it. I don't understand how sometimes you really can't see how somebody is feeling, even though they treat you and they don't want to talk to you and they dismiss you so often. I think sometimes you lie to yourself just to have someone, to be honest. The next one, one thing, when the sex gets very fewer, when the sex changes, when he doesn't want to touch you all the time. Because remember when you started to be with him, every time you pass, he would smack your butt. He would touch you. He would grab you. He would bring you close. He would want to lay with you. He would want to do something just to get some. But then all of a sudden, he makes excuses not to sleep with you. He disappears. He's not aroused by you anymore. You can be butt naked talking to him and nothing shows. He doesn't even get excited anymore when you're around. A lot of times, that's a man who don't want to be with you anymore. You don't entice him anymore. His mind is gone. See, when his mind has left, that means his body has left too. Sometimes sex, when you're doing that sexual experience, he doesn't orgasm. He just do it for you. Man is not interested. The quicker you learn that, because I'm sure your body feels it too. So when he loses interest, your body experience it too, because your body can tell. One thing about your body can tell exactly when someone don't want to be with you, because your body start to feel kind of lonely, disrespected. You know the truth. The next thing is you will see him joke around about walking away or leaving you. When somebody don't want to be with you, a lot of times they begin to make jokes about leaving you. Well, when they leave you. about you leaving them, about what they're gonna do and who they're gonna have. They make jokes about other women, being with other women. And it's not jokes, it's real. That's a sign that man is either testing you strongly, he wants another woman, or he don't want to be with you. But either one, either or. When he start to make those jokes about divorcing you, leaving you, walking away from you, and you being single, listen. He's telling you how he really feels. It's not a joke. It's funny, but it's not funny to you because somewhere deep inside of you, you know the truth. You feel kind of funny about it. You feel kind of weird. Listen to that feeling. It might be true. And lastly, when he no longer wants to hear about your feelings, he's quick to leave when you're trying to share your feelings. He doesn't want to listen to you anymore. He doesn't care how you feel. He's always tired of how you feel. He doesn't want to communicate. He doesn't want, see, every time you communicate, he argues. Every time you bring up something, he becomes dismissive. Every time you try to speak about how you feel to him, he don't want to hear it. He don't care. He tells you he don't care, period. That's a man who no longer cares. Listen, we have to be aware of these things because these things are, I think, are very simple to figure out. And I think a lot of times the truth is we know when someone no longer wants us. It's hard to accept. You know when somebody don't want you, it's just hard to accept for some reason. You know, when things become hard to accept, you begin to force things. You begin to beg people to stay. You begin to, try to do extra. Sometimes ain't nothing that you can do. That person is done. They don't want you anymore. And as soon as we realize that, we will have our dignity and self-respect to walk away. Don't stay with no one who doesn't want you. Don't let somebody tell you, and whether it's a man or woman, don't let somebody tell you twice, 3 times that they don't want you. It becomes disrespect, and each time they tell you, it becomes more disrespectful. It becomes more loud. It hurts a little bit more. And every time it hurts, you feel so badly about yourself. You feel ashamed, disgraced. You shouldn't let nobody tell you 3 or 4 times that they don't want you. After a while, you begin to not want yourself. Because you know you're not wanted and you stay. When you know that you're not wanted and you stay anyways, you begin to lose your self-respect. You begin to lose that respect for yourself because you know better. See, when you know better, you do better. And if you don't do better, you feel terrible about it. So the truth is, we know. We know. You know. Sometimes everybody don't have the, as you call it, the balls to tell you that they don't want you anymore. They don't have the guts to tell you that they no longer want to be with you. And sometimes they don't want to hurt your feelings. But they will show you every single time. Their action will show you. Their energy will show you. Their behavior will show you. And that's what you got to listen to because behavior is actually real. Words are just words. You can tell. You got to be able to tell. If you can't tell, I don't understand how you can't tell. But the thing is, you can, can't you? You knew when the relationship was about to fail. You knew when that person no longer wanted you. You just didn't care to know. You wanted to lie to you. You wanted him to lie to you. Tell you that they love you. It made you feel better. But did you love yourself more after that? No, you probably love yourself even less. Because once you know better, you love yourself even less. Once you accept drama, once you accept disrespect, you begin to love yourself even less. Because you got to have that balance. You have to have that harmony. Listen, these are things that men do. And there's a lot more. Because each men are different. But these are some of the basic things that men do. Now, if you do one of these things, it doesn't mean that he doesn't want you. Naturally. Because sometimes people get relaxed. So it's not everything that means that he doesn't want you. But if there's about 3 or 4 of them jokers put together, sometimes it might be true. Maybe he has someone else. Maybe he doesn't want you anymore. Maybe he no longer is in love with you. Maybe he no longer wants the relationship with you. And sometimes it is what it is. You can't control that. You can't beg nobody to want to be with you. You can't force them. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but you all have a blessed day. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Let me know what you think about this video. All right? Peace.